Uh, I'm going to take you through the FarmApp.online program. My name is Julius. When you log in, this is what you see, and you go under. Let's enter into farm activities because that's what we want to. I want to show you a demo of how it works. So when you enter into farm activities, you'll see there's a planting program. There's a nursery, there's a land prep module, irrigation module, planting module, the actual planting module, and the harvesting module. Before doing anything, the first initial step it will be to add farms. To add farms, blocks, crops, and varieties because that's how the system has been designed. First, to explain on what I mean when I say farms. When you have a farm, assuming this is your farm, you can, I'm talking of farm, this could be your farm. Your farm, maybe it has greenhouses, maybe you're planting here until here. So this could be your farm 1. You can have another farm, maybe farm 2. And in farm 2, maybe you're planting here. You are doing some production here, and maybe this is the office area. So under farm, the farm is composed of the undeveloped, the used portions that are not allocated to production, but they are allocated to maybe offices. So they are still undeveloped, not undeveloped really, but they are not. So the farm is big. When I'm talking about the farm in the system, I'm talking about everything. So this farm could contain, but our interest is these greenhouses. It could be greenhouses or these tunnels. That's our interest. Or there's an open field here that you are planting. This is going to be our major interest because in costing, whatever happens here, assuming this is our office, whatever happens here, whatever is happening here, maybe there are workers working here, still this cost is assigned to these blocks. So when I'm speaking about farm, this is what I mean by farm. The system is flexible. When I say flexible, let me open a new one. When I mean flexible is what you can also have your farm, assuming this is your farm, and in your farm you can decide to divide your farm in the system like this. So maybe you can have this farm, maybe it's called farm Z. So you can have something like this. You can have farm ZA. You can have farm ZB. You can have farm ZC, and you can have farm ZD, and maybe in farm ZA these are the greenhouses. So these partitions is just by your choice how you want it to do it. We have made it so flexible. You can partition your farm in the system, the same farm, but you can partition it into A, B, and C if you see it relevant. Maybe this is your greenhouses. Maybe you're only planting this side. Assuming there's a river passing here, something like that. Then there's an open field. You're planting a different crop. It's an open field. Or you have and maybe here the offices. So you can partition your farm like this. But like I said, our key interest is not this. Our much focus is on the production blocks, and maybe you can capture the rest of the area as undeveloped or not related to production. I don't know. You can name it the way you want, but you can name it the way you want. So that's what I mean by farm. So when you come to your program, you can add your farm. You will see that we have added farms here as a test. We have farm 1, farm 2, farm 3, farm 4. So let me add farm 5. So this system supports many farms. You can have many farms. Maybe you have one farm in Mombasa, another one in Nairobi, another one in maybe Naivasha. Naivasha, something like that. So this is where you can add your farms and where you can assign. So the system is able to support many farms. And like the second example, I was saying that you can have one farm. You can have maybe your farm is called farm Z, and you can decide this farm ZA, and you have another ZB. You have, this is just one farm, but maybe you want to partition it like that. So this is also possible in the system. You can do this if you want. If you wish to partition your single farm into many parts, that's up to you. But you can, if you can decide to, maybe if you have many farms, you can keep the original concept, farm 1, farm 2. If you have many farms, farm 3, farm 4, and farm 5. So that's about farms. So when I was speaking about farm, I just remember, let me discuss that. Just remember that just remember a farm is this. This is your farm as an example, and in this farm you have production blocks. When I mean by block, perhaps you have built a greenhouse here. You have built a greenhouse here. There's a greenhouse running here, and maybe you are calling it greenhouse 1. Greenhouse 1. So this greenhouse 1, according to the system, this is greenhouse 1 is a block. It is a block. It's not a block necessarily. I'm talking in the system concept. You can have another greenhouse 2 here. Maybe this is your greenhouse 2. So in your farm you have blocks. In this you can have another open area here. You can have an open area here. Maybe you're calling it H5, H1. Let's say call it H1. It's an open area. Yeah. So these are some blocks. So there's a block. This is block 1, block 2, block 3. The first block is a greenhouse 1. The second block is greenhouse 2. The second block is an open area. It's an open area, but production takes place here. The other blocks you want to capture, you want to make sure you're capturing your production blocks. Then you can have also tunnels. Maybe in your farm, here is your offices. Here, then maybe you have built tunnels. You can have your tunnel here, tunnel 1, tunnel 2, tunnel 3. So to this, that's how. Maybe another here. Beside here you have greenhouse 3, greenhouse 4. Then the rest of the areas, maybe like these ones, you can add in the system. You can add it as undeveloped. It's uncultivated. Yeah, uncultivated area. So you can have several blocks. You can have a block called T1, T2, T3, which are tunnels. You can have now there's another block with greenhouse 3, greenhouse 4, greenhouse 1, greenhouse 2, and another H1. You can have many open field. Maybe you have another one H2 here, which is also an open field. So this is a block, a production block. It's a block. It's a production block. Like this greenhouse 1 is a production block where you have built your greenhouse. Greenhouse 2 is also a production block. Tunnel 1 also a production block where you have built your tunnel. Also here an open area, it's also a production block. And here is not a production block. This one, it's where maybe your offices are. So that's an example to explain what I mean by blocks. What I mean by blocks. I'm using my cursor to type, so you forgive me for if it's not much visible. So those are the blocks. So if you come to the blocks, you'll see. So under farm 1, there's block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5. So you come, if you have many farms, you can add. I can add farm 2. I can add another block, maybe valve 2. This I'm just doing it. I'm not using any reference point when I'm adding this. I'm just showing you how to add the blocks. But if to know what blocks means, you can refer to what I was doing here. Then in these blocks you can declare that this block is a nursery block, or you can also deactivate this block, and you can also rename it. You can also rename it like block 4A. Let's have 4B. You can also rename it. So that is about blocks. Then the next thing is partitions. You'll see here there are partitions. So inside a block you can have partitions. What I mean is that inside this greenhouse it can be divided into partitions. Inside this H1 it can be divided into partitions. It's an open area. But you can divide it into partitions, maybe H1A, H1B, H1C, H1D. So those are what I'm calling partitions. So for example, let me pick H1. Let me keep this one as a reference. Allow me to keep this as a reference. So I'm going to snipe this one so that we may have this one as a reference. And so you can have in let's say like greenhouse 1. If you pick greenhouse 1, so this is your greenhouse 1 and greenhouse 2, greenhouse 1 and greenhouse 2. So this is greenhouse 1 and greenhouse 2. In greenhouse 1 you can have bay 1, you can have bay 2, you can have bay 3. This is what we refer to partitions. So if you go back, you see, so the partitions are inside the block. So in this block, this greenhouse, there's a block where you have built your greenhouse, there's a partition B1, B2, B3 and B4. Same to greenhouse 2. If you pick, for example, maybe the H, this side here, which has a shading outside here, maybe H1, this is which we said is an open area. You can have H1A, H1B. You can divide it into partitions. Yeah, H1C, H1D, and so on. Same to tunnels. So that's what we are referring to partitions. Partitions are if it's your partition, it's maybe your greenhouse. Your greenhouse, this is your greenhouse. So partitions are found inside a greenhouse or a tunnel or an open area. So it's your partition. It is the minimum. Like you could call it a block, but not this area block because you have already called these other ones blocks. But you can call it the smallest portion of a block. Yeah, maybe you're separating it maybe for scouting purposes or for any other reason. I know you know what I mean. So those are partitions. So to add partitions, I'll go under view, add view, edit block partitions, and then when you click that one, you can select you want to add partition for what. Maybe I want to add partition for block 41A, yeah, or let's go back. We go back to blocks. You can pick partition directly. Like let me pick block 4A. If I click like block 4A, I see there's only one partition. Okay, I already added block 4A. So meaning this is wrong. You cannot have block 4A here. 4A is a partition. So I'll keep it block 4 and I'll keep this one as block 5. So if I want to add my B, I'll go under block 4 and add my I hope you have seen where I want to be specific. I want to add a block inside here. So I click, you see the last column is called partitions. So I'll click this one inside here, add view or edit. So I'll click on that one. I've added or view or edit partitions. It gives you can customize partitions directly for that block. If you click this one, this other button that's on top here, it will bring you everything. It is for everything. So if you want to be specific, make sure you click add or view the ones inside the table for that particular block. So if I'll go like here and I'll add a new partition B and I want it to give it 300 meters squared, and I'll So that is my B. So that's basically how you add farm and blocks in these partitions. Then there's a crop. Let's go to the crops. So for the crops, you can also add a crop. You can add crop. Let me see. Let me add crop. Maybe sukuma. Your sukuma, you say it's supposed to be in the nursery for 18 days. If you're planning, this one is important for the planting program. So when you are telling the program that, hey, I want to plant in week maybe week 40, it calculates by itself when you need to start your nursery. And remember, the system picks Monday as the first day of the week. So it's good to note that. So my scuba, I'll give it a color. I'll give it that color. Let me give it a dark color because of the planting program. Let me give it that one. Then I'll tell the program that my first cut of skooma, I'm expecting per meter squared, I'm expecting 12 stems after immediately 7 weeks after planting. Then the second cut, the second harvest, that's a cut works on, I'll rename here to cut or stock harvest. Cut works on those that you are doing, yeah, it could be a cut also, but there are those that you may want to address it as stems, maybe. So here maybe you can say I'm expecting 11, 8 weeks from planting. You see there's a button here called has no end cycle. When you check this one, you're telling the program that this is a longer crop. Yeah, this is a crop that will stay longer in the farm. So what it will do, it will assign automatically the interval. It will check the difference between the intervals. You see like 7 and 8, so it will know that the third cut should be 9, 10, 11. It automatically will fill for you that one for those data. But you can still change it. You can customize it the way you want. What it does, it takes the difference between the last two cuts and it fills out this field automatically for you when you are doing on the planting program, not here. But when you don't check this one, you are telling the program that this sukuma, after my second harvest, it will be no more. So schedule it for uprooting. So right after the second cut or the second harvest, it will be ready for uprooting. So you can customize if you want how you want your expect yields in different seasons. So let me save this one. Let me save my crop. Save my crop. So once it's saved, if you want to edit it, you click this button and you'll go here and you see this is my skooma here. I can still edit it. It will load the fields entered. You can edit it. Yeah, it's 18 days. I don't know why it's not loading, but I'll fix it. So yeah, so when you go to overview, you see it's yeah, I know why. It's not, you can change it directly from here. If you want to change the nursery days, you can change it directly from here. You don't need to go and change it. Yeah, here you can only change the harvesting. Okay. You can also add varieties for your crop. You can add varieties for your crop. Let me say for my sukuma, I can call it kienyeji or indigenous. Kienyeji. You can put them. Remember these tables when you go to farms or blocks. When you have many blocks or crops or anything, this table you can filter. You can show 100 items in one page, or you can just search. You can just search like that for it will. Like let's go to partition. Okay, no. Let's go to partitions and I search block 4. So these tables are searchable. Yeah, you see it. This is how you do a search. Let me look for farm 2. Yeah, farm 2 is there really? No. This search is done, but I'll correct it. It's only looking for where there is a field called farm and where there is something called 2. Yeah, but you can, this thing is very so easy that assuming you're having like this, you can show 100 and then these fields are you can sort them, yeah, from the smallest to the largest. Okay, so now we are ready for our planting program. In our planting program, uh, it will load all the partitions here. So then maybe let me do a planting now. Let me plant sukuma. Let me schedule a planting of sukuma in September 30th. So I'll do my sukuma here and say it's during all season. Remember, you can edit these fields. You can add as you wish. It's loading the default that you saved, but you can edit. So I'm going to like that. I'm going to schedule like that. So once I've scheduled, you see I must get a notification that my data has been saved. I just want to refresh that you see that this data doesn't disappear. So you see it is here. So there's a planting. If I hover over this cell, you see this telling me there's planting of sukuma, and also there's a putting of sukuma. So you see every week there is a total. Below here there's a total of expected yields per week. It's a formula. It will be adding these. So this works when you do filters. When you will be adding filters, we can filter by block or crop, because I believe there are various blocks for basil. You can group them together, then add those filters. Yeah. So you can literally plan. You can literally plan for 2 years on this calendar. You can literally plan for. You can even do 5 years. Let's see. Though it will be heavy now, it depends with your computer. Let's do filter. See how many years do we have. Yeah, you see we have until date. We have until 2030. So you can do 5 years if you want. If you leave this field blank, it will pick 2 years by default. By default, you can do a plan for 2 years. So let's go back to our plan. So assuming after putting here, I want to skip 1 week, then I want to add a land, start preparing this land again. I'll go to click more changes and apply my land prep. So these activities you can as well also add. If you refresh it, you will find it there. So these activities you can add more. You can just right click, go to more changes, and you can add another activity. When you click add another activity, you can name our activity trial 4, and we give it maybe another color. Let's pick this one. I like dark colors because of the programs, but our paints may be visible better. They may be beautiful and visible. So I'll go back to my planting program. When I go back to my planting program, now let's apply our trial 4. You can say right after here, let's do trial 4. More changes. It will pick the color that you had set. You see it's there. So another interesting thing about the planting program, you can select this. You can select this, and you can copy. If you're using Windows, it's Control-C. You see, even I've informed you here. You look at this instruction. You can copy and you can paste. So I can copy whatever I've done here. I can paste it here. You can see something like that. Yeah, it will do something like that. Yeah. Yes, so it will paste some. You can paste, but you can still change these numbers. You can still change these numbers. Cut per meter square, because you copied. Maybe that's now okay. That's the shortcoming of copying, because it will not look at the area in which maybe that's a shortcoming, but I'll look on adjusting that one. because now look, it's copying an action and its properties, everything, and pasting it to this block, right? But I hope in the next release we'll have fixed that one. So you can copy paste, and you can also, so this I did something wrong, you can undo. Okay, it cannot undo because I have refreshed. When you refresh, it loads that memory as your start. I think there's an error, but I'll fix it there. Okay, let me delete it. Let me redo it. So you can paste that activity like that, then you come and you can delete an activity, and you can delete all these activities that you have applied there. Yeah, that's how you do the planning. We'll hope to perfect it more. And if you have any ideas, you can also share. That's all about the planting program. Thank you.